Taken a neutral view on it, actually, but just
Fact or fiction? That's the question that many shooters are now asking about the way the RSPB represents the UK countryside. Talking to Charlie at the 2022 Game Fair, Duncan Orr-Ewing of the RSPB was outspoken about the brood management scheme for hen harriers.
On hen harriers, I think Ian has put rather a glossy spin on that one. I mean, again, evidence that has been, to be honest, largely ignored by GWCT, and again, it's published peer-reviewed information, is that quite a lot of these brood managed hen harriers that are being fed and then released on near grouse moors are actually ending up being shot, so...
Well, hang on, that is a very, very... What do you mean they end up being shot? Have you got any evidence for that?
Yeah, there's a peer-reviewed paper, Murgatroyd et al., which shows the fate of English hen harriers, which includes birds. This is satellite tag birds.
Landowner groups and shooting organisations are horrified.
Duncan references a scientific paper which actually was produced before the brood management scheme. Perhaps he's hoping that nobody would read it. So this narrative that the RSPB have that any bird that is released will just simply be shot is just repeated without any evidence. And so they will tell you that the failure of hen harriers to breed at Geltsdale is because when they breed, as soon as they fly over the boundary, the gamekeepers will kill them. And then when you point out, well, have you presumably, that's a very strong accusation, presumably you've witnessed that, and if you've witnessed it, you have informed the police. At which point they go utterly silent, as if no one's ever pointed this out. It's very easy to make general sweeping comments about illegal activity. And in response to him, look at the success of the hen harriers in England over the last few years.
What will happen with the RSPB is they'll become more a campaigning, politicising type body than they already are, and they will disengage themselves from people who shoot. And we have access to 2/3 of the rural landscape, that's what we estimate. We have relationships with landowners. And more importantly, those landowners, in the wider scheme of things, with and without shooting interests, will start seeing the RSPB moving away from somebody they think they could trust and work with. And I rather fear they're going to effectively cut off their nose to spite their face by continuing to go down this particular line.
It's not just lies, it's hate speech. The RSPB released a report on bird crime in November 2022, which tried to show that gamekeepers are systematically killing birds of prey. It claims one incident of raptor persecution in Northern Ireland, which it says is the tip of the iceberg.
There's a success story here that we've got it driven down to one incident. Any bird persecution should be condemned. This is through the work of the stakeholders and not the RSPB, so I'm quite miffed by their comments.
But if you stand back and look at what the RSPB are doing, they are using this and a combination of other elements which I'll come on to, I think, it appears increasingly to instill and inspire hostility from the public towards those that are involved in game management. It extends to reporting on bird crime, which the RSPB used to report when it started doing it in the early 90s. It covered all bird crime. Now it prioritises just raptors, and within that, really, it just prioritises talking about gamekeepers. It's a bit like asking people to report if they happen to be on the M1 and they see a red car, can you let me know about it? And then the next year you produce a report saying 90% of cars on the roads in England are red. Well, that's not really the case. What they're doing is they're asking people to report suspected incidents, and they're reporting on suspected incidents and saying that they are confirmed, but suggesting that police have confirmed them, but actually they haven't. They just, the RSPB have confirmed them themselves, so nobody actually sees any of this data.
The RSPB is doing well for National Lottery and taxpayers' cash in Northern Ireland. It won £4.5 million for a contract to remove rats from Rathlin Island off the coast of Antrim. Gamekeepers are the group's main commercial competition.
The island size is about 3,000 acres, working out at about £1,500 per acre to achieve this aim. And really the question has to be asked is this a good use of money? Would a private contractor charge as much And again, if they worked with organisations such as Countryside Alliance and the other country sports organisations, would our members be willing to assist? The fact that this 4.5 million, some of that will have come from taxpayers' money at this time, just really shocks us and really begs the question of is this the best way to spend taxpayers' money?
Some of the RSPB's monstering of gamekeepers is subtle and could be interpreted several ways. A tweet by its new president, shortly before he took office, is clear. Dr. Amir Khan tweeted that shooting birds just for pleasure doesn't make you more of a man, woman or person, but it does make you less of a human being.
I think like everybody else, I think we're thinking, here we go again. You've got a president, you've got a vice president, busy saying things which openly attack the field sports community, and the RSPB is making no attempt to distance itself from their comments, and you have to assume that they support them.
It's really disappointing to see people make ill-judged comments, and as somebody who shoots, I don't particularly like reading that, and it does make you wonder what goes into the top level of the RSPB, and you have some sympathy with people who then wonder why they come out with some of the policy positions they do when they don't really respect the evidence properly.
We approached the RSPB for an interview or a comment on these issues. They didn't respond. For the whole of the Game Fair Theatre discussion between Charlie, Ian Cockhill and Duncan Orr Ewing, follow the link below.